Hey, I'm Colleen Clinkenbeard, and I play Monkey D. Luffy, and you are listening to Chronicles of the Lost Realm. Bum, bum, bum.
Hello, Mises, welcome you to Chronicles by Campfire. Muy good. I'm sorry. What's up, guys? It's Chris Stolle. Welcome to Chronicles by the Campfire. Basically an after show for Chronicles of the Lost Realm. As you guys may or may not be aware, guess what? We started a new season. And with me is some of the new members and some of the returning members of the now hashtagged Stumble Crew. I'm going to go around the room, let everybody introduce who they are, starting with our DM.
Welcome. I am your friendly Druncle Anvil. That's right, your drunk Uncle Anvil. And I will be taking everyone on a nice, long story adventure.
That's one way of putting it.
Well, it's going to be long because we keep just character development.
All words.
Yeah, character development. Next, a returning member, Mr. Zephyr.
Hey, why don't we let some of the new blood go first?
Okay.
Since I'm one of the old, new character, but old player.
Or you could just talk about yourself.
All right, well then we'll come back to Zephyr then. Why don't we go ahead? Well, I can't have you go after the NPCs.
Sure.
The NPCs are at the end because they're non-player characters. You know, they're welcome to Cornelia, and that's it. I wish that's all they said.
Obviously, this doesn't go in spoiler territory because if you're listening this far with Chronicles of the Lost Realm, you know how Season 1 ended. And the character I previously played is no longer with us.
Yes, he is.
So obviously I'm back with a new character.
He is too.
He's still with us.
He makes delightful ice cubes.
I don't know if that's a spoiler or not.
Oh, I mean, it was in the first Campfire.
I mean, that's kind of been the running gag so far. Is Billy is just still frozen. He's dead. Don't get me wrong. He's dead, but he's frozen.
Dude, he dropped like -20 past full health. -20 past in one hit. Yeah, he's still frozen. He's like that caveman that broke out of Antarctica. You know what I mean? Like, he's not thawing out anytime soon. But anyway, we'll get into all that in a minute. One of the newest Bloods is a character that goes by the name of Mugsey. And I'm sorry, I keep forgetting what your real name is.
My name is Dylan. I play Mugsey. He's a halfling mobster. Technically, he's a barbarian rogue. And, yeah.
Is he really a barbarian rogue?
Favorite characters to play. Yeah.
Oh, we gotta dig in a little bit on that. We'll get back to that.
That somehow makes everything that happened better.
Thematically, he's a mob enforcer. But yeah, he is a halfling barbarian rogue, and it's glorious.
It really is.
How else do you think he out-muscled you? And
of course, we have the inventor of Bleen himself, Mr. Chris Rutter. Chris, your cue.
Hey. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a high elf paladin, and the inventor of Bleen. I invented this cool new color that if you look at it one way, it's black. Turn it another way, it's green, and I think that's pretty cool.
But the big question on my mind is why Bleen? Why not Grack?
Because
since I am a elf, I'm obviously going to have elven crafted materials and everything, but none of them have magical powers. They've just been imbued with a color you've never seen before, so that's why Bleen.
But why not?
And not Brack, because Backstreet's Brack, all right.
And also because Grack is a goblin knight that I play in another campaign.
Is it really?
Isn't that a snake?
Isn't
that a snake ghost character?
No, he's a goblin.
Well, speaking of little nose goblins, Zep, you ready to tell your character now?
I am not a goblin. I'm a human. Thank you very much.
That's debatable.
Yeah, this season, since Billy obviously is pushing up the daisies, I now play a character by the name of Akkla Temrek, who is a human wizard, with how do you describe this?
He's fine. Fucked up,
Magical
insecure, neurotic,
dysfunction?
emotional.
No, I was gonna kind of what Phoenix said of magical dysfunction.
I almost died.
He
Premature invocation.
magic doesn't really work right for him, and he doesn't know why. And that the problems with his magic got him expelled from the Mages College. So he's currently searching for a magic teacher that is willing to teach him.
So like I said, premature invocation.
Maybe not. Most often, he actually manages to cast the spell that he intended to cast. It just has additional effects.
And as stated with with Zephyr is Phoenix, also a new character.
I am playing Iolanthe. I am a druid. I don't know if I'm going to tell you what circle I am, just because that might be spoilers. But needless to say, come quite in handy so far. Particularly as I entered the party in a form that has caused another party member some significant discomfort.
Oh yeah, Akkla, because of the nature of his magic, Akkla is highly superstitious. So anything that can be construed as possibly causing bad luck, he will almost immediately try to remove from the equation.
Is that what you... Okay.
Oh, so we're not bad luck.
So speaking
No.
speaking of
because as soon as we started, Io had herself, and this is first episode, yeah.
Yeah.
We're assuming this is after first episode. So Io entered the lone drow as a black cat, and so Akkla immediately goes, "Oh no, not again!" and starts trying to find this cat to remove it from the premises because no bad luck, none, not at all,
Yeah.
no.
I had no idea why you were doing that. I'll be honest. You were just kind of rambling around looking for a cat. I was very confused.
Well, speaking of causing major discomfort, we had two very special NPC guests who, quite honestly, in episode 1, and before I even introduce them, let me make it abundantly clear. We did go live on twitch.tv/SoundsDiceyGaming last night, and we recorded the first 3 episodes of Season 2 all at once. So we will be talking about all 3 episodes, but the only ones that we will allow, and I will put a spoiler warning just in case, you haven't listened to episode 1 yet before this episode, we will be talking about episode 1 because that is live. You guys can check that out right now on YouTube, on Anchor, on wherever quality podcast can be heard. Of course, go to Patreon. It's free on there as well. Check it out. Make sure you enjoy it. Come back. Hear the conversation. But we are not going to be talking about episodes 2 and 3 in detail because they haven't released yet, and we don't want to ruin that for you. But again, speaking of things that were ruined for you, the 2 people that were supposed to be just plot devices who wound up stealing episode 1.
In a glorious manner, I might add. In glorious fashion.
I think he needs us.
The performance they gave being plot devices in episode 1 is how they wind up becoming recurring characters in like a Team Rocket role.
Prepare for trouble.
Did not cause trouble. We were very good people.
Oh God!
I just saw you on bar. That was the vibe.
It's gonna get to like many seasons down the road at the point where the Stumble Crew is just like, oh no, not these fucks again.
What'll be great is many seasons down the road. Many seasons down the road.
They're gonna see us pop into the group chat. They're gonna be like, "Oh no!" No.
It'll be many seasons. It'll be many seasons down the road after the original incarnation and all the subsequent incarnations of the Stumble Crew are gone, and they're literally like, "We're bored. Let's go find somebody else."
I could totally see that happening.
That means we did our
I just wanted
job
to go on
right.
record. I just wanted to go on record. They were intended to be reoccurring characters before this performance, and now it's guaranteed.
That's my compliment. High praise. Thank you. But anyway, I'm Dusty.
I'm Salem.
And I just realized
we played NPCs that didn't exactly get named.
Mine did.
Yours did, but then Chris's character is just like, all right, now we're not doing this. I don't care about what your name is. So you got a little squeaked out.
So we're not going to name our names just in case we come back.
Yeah, and we'll eventually, probably be
Named.
We have names. It's just nobody cares.
I just had I did just have a horrifying thought. I did just have a horrifying thought for those characters. They keep reappearing at random times or whatever else. I think I gave them the vessel. Like, they're almost going to be Doctor Whoing it in that freaking dunk tank.
If they weren't before, they are now.
I was going to say, we didn't have that planned, but gee.
I mean, you say you didn't, but I'm not going to say I didn't.
I can appreciate the fact that I can get to you guys whenever I want to, but I'm wet every single time.
Instead of the TARDIS sound effect whenever it leaves, it's an overstuffed washing machine on agitate cycle.
Including the bang, because somebody threw a sneaker in there. Fung, 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 fung. Well, as we're throwing this in, I mean, we got to give the DM a little extra credit. Because my wife and I were actually listening to episode 1 today while we were going to get dinner, and Anvil gave a spot-on Russian accent, and came to my conclusion that he played a 10-foot giant dwarf. I'll let him go into more details about him with a Russian accent, who's completely hairy. I looked at her and in total shock. She said, "What?" I said, "Oh my God, it's our friend Max." Who is a tall man, very hairy, and Russian.
So,
I don't know why, but I was expecting a more like stereotypical Russian name, like I don't know, Ivan or something.
so I've always wanted to make a character that was half dwarf, half giant. simply for like the ridiculous strength and the fact that they'd be about average size, but be so wide that they wouldn't fit through doors.
As we found out.
And as I was looking at building him, I realized that storm giants are basically thunder gods. And I was inspired by actually the Iron Druid Chronicles depiction of Pharun, the Slavic thunder god. And I was like, you know what? I'm making Pharun the hairiest, most Russian Slavic thunder god you've ever met.
I do want to critique you, Anvil, just a little bit. When Josh asked for his payment in whiskey, you really should have counter-offered vodka.
I thought about it. I really did think about it, but I felt like I'd already spent enough time at the bar.
That's fair.
Well, we kind of spent the whole episode at the bar. I mean, episode 1 ended with us finally leaving. Actually, it did make me feel kind of. It did make me feel kind of bad that we got all these new characters we wanted to introduce, and majority of the episode was me interacting with the NPCs.
Hey, we got a nice show out of it, y'all.
I was gonna say we all got asked by Pharun to show up at this one place because he had a job for us, and when we got there, we find he's sitting there trying to negotiate with the dude who supposedly was supposed to be doing the job with us. So we were wondering what the fuck was going on.
I mean, and Akkla did manage to get some entertainment by catching a cat paw to the face, so there's that.
That was not entertaining, and you should feel bad about that because you definitely gave Akkla anxiety.
But there was beautiful.
Don't touch people without permission.
It was a cat.
There was beautiful background interactions during the NPCs versus Pharun, with Melwood just saying, "I'll fireball him. I don't mind," and all the while in the background you have Chris Rutter, Xavier running. Check out my cloak. When I turn this way, it's green.
Check out my color.
Like completely and totally disinterested in the whole conversation.
I can't wait to show everybody my weapons.
Was the dunk tank challenge before or after the end of the episode? I can't remember.
It was before.
Okay, so we got to witness Akkla's first magical misfire then.
Yes.
Yes, because the character's annoyed
Magic
for
missile, perfectly casted, hit the target, set off the dunk tank, dunked the NPCs, immediately proceeds to lose all of his hair.
Yeah, but you didn't dunk the NPCs because for some reason when the board dropped, they disappeared, and when the board reenacted, they were sitting there like they were a hologram.
That's right. That would be exactly what happened. But don't mind us, we're normal people, really.
We are normal people.
Hey, they are really good at selling things. They can, anything you need, they can sell it. Anything you need, they can sell it.
Is that
matter of when they sell it to you?
Anvil, they're really good at having inventory for sale.
We didn't actually sell anything.
I worked on a list. So her character had like a little teeny tiny pouch that was just like you pull stuff out of it. Like
I was having a ball with that.
my character actually had just a burlap sack full of just what the fuck ever. And
well, her sack I kind of took as like a Mary Poppins thing, like like the little sack that pulls out a lamp.
Yep, that was exactly it. I still love I had the horse in there.
So wait, they're literally like
they're
they're literally the traveling merchant in every Final Fantasy game that just winds up in the weirdest places. Like, hey, do you need stuff? Like a walk in Final Fantasy X.
That was sort of my plan.
In the dungeon.
Yep. and I feel like that's their role now. They're just going to be the merchants that show up whenever we need to buy stuff.
I do have to correct them though. They did sell one. They did half-assed sell one thing. You sold the dunk tank. I may not be giving you gold for it. I may not have given you gold for it, but I did turn to Pharun and said, all debts paid, yes? And he said yes. I said,
And Pharun did pay them.
that's mine.
He also bought the Ikia, and I don't know if anyone got it, but Ikia is spelled I-K-E-A.
Oh, God, IKEA.
That's why we kept saying some assembly required.
Well, you guys were talking so fast, sometimes it was hard to catch it. And like I said, during the interactions, I literally, like when we stopped episode 1 and we were taking a break before going to episode 2, I was literally like, I didn't know how to react. Like, Pharun and I were one and the same person. I didn't know how to respond to what they were doing.
That's how you do it.
We did what we were supposed to do.
No, I gotta be honest. When I do accents very quickly.
But no, the idea behind my character was to speak as fast, to be confusing as heck. That was something that Anvil and I had discussed.
Oh, okay, so.
Did you guys, like, I again, because they stole the show, I've got to ask, did you guys practice this? Because, like, your timing off of each other was impeccable.
No, I did.
No, he's talking about our play against each other.
Oh, our play with each other?
Not
no.
at all.
I practiced the character while I was at work.
I had no idea what he was going to do till we sat down and you guys hit record.
I had entire backstory all ready to go.
We did not discuss with each other what we were going to do, so that was all live.
Yeah, I had an entire skit of all the stuff in his burlap sack if that ever became a thing. Like, I
do too.
I had the works.
You guys' performance was so good, you threw me off mine. I have a voice for Akkla. Akkla's supposed to have a voice. I didn't use it for the entire of the 3 episodes because I forgot you guys played.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we did not mean to do that.
You know what? I'm kind of glad Pharun doesn't have a separate voice, so they didn't throw me like that.
He's supposed to sound like this. He's supposed to sound completely different from me. He's supposed to have his own little voice. And I didn't do it because you guys threw me off.
So Akkla's supposed to sound like Brainy Smurf?
I would like to say, so before this, I drew up a dungeon. My fiance and I, we drew up a labyrinth. And I had a bunch of stuff in between them because I did not expect to have enough material to go for a full 3 hours. And I was real nervous that I was going to have to improvise a bunch of shit on the 3rd episode, but like we didn't even
make it to the dungeon.
Taking a long time.
To be fair, we all kind of went a little side questy.
I was about to say you were planning for the manga. We were planning for the anime.
Right?
Well, look, I warned you that we'll fill it with character development. The thing is that I personally, and you know, since Keith is the only other returning player from season 1 in the group right now, you correct me if I'm wrong in this, but the dynamics of this group compared to what the original group was is like, and in no way am I knocking the original group. I love the original characters, the Blighted Crow, you know, Valhalla and all them, like nothing but love and respect for those characters, but the dynamics of this group is so off the wall, it's literally night and day.
I honestly feel like hashtag Stumble Crew is not this crew's thing. That is for season 1. I feel like we're the hashtag Chaos Crew.
But you know what? I do kick myself. I do kick myself. Because in the episode where Pharun finally agrees to do the job and he goes up to his room and he touches the shrine and says, I'm going to make shit right. He shouldn't have said that. What he should have said is, I'm going on a stumble quest. I should have said that. I realized it afterwards as I'm editing the videos. I'm like, that was a perfect opportunity and I missed it. Hindsight being 2020. But it was
too late to fix it now.
So many things like were throwing the game off because it was so good. It was so entertaining. like Anvil
we were
was
not
saying.
ready.
We
weren't ready.
But we weren't the only ones that weren't ready. I mean, we had people watching on Twitch, and they were dying laughing, like our newest Patreon, the armed bear, admitting that he
Armed bear.
an armed bear. Excuse me, I'm going to get it right eventually. An armed bear said he almost spit out whatever he was drinking when Chris said "bleen."
No, that was the other guy.
Oh, that was the other guy. What was
That was some other guy. I think he said, I snorted liquor when you said "bleen."
That's right.
So I mean, everything was firing on all cylinders. That, like, you know, Anvil was saying is like he was afraid he wouldn't have enough material, and we didn't even get to the material. All we did was his in the 3 episodes.
Here, I was afraid we went too long.
That was part of the reason why Pharun started getting frustrated with your guys' characters, because I was the same way. I'm like, we're losing the whole episode to me arguing with you guys.
Bad thing.
So that's why Pharun was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Shut up.
NPCs use talk no jutsu. It was super effective.
Oh, by the
I love when he threw us off with what exactly we're supposed to be doing. We're like, God?
God.
And I was like frantic. I was frantically typing, trying to figure out what all it was happening, and then they mentioned the brothel, and I was like, damn it, no, you weren't supposed to tell them it was a
That's
brothel.
all our fault.
That was my fault.
I wasn't gonna say a goddamn thing.
But the funny thing is,
I was thrown off by I didn't have what the item was we were supposed to send them for.
You were supposed to tell them the
guys
client
like-
had all the details.
The client knows. Here's my issue. So, Perun and Pharun.
Pharun.
Spelled so similar. Pharun. They look so similar. I just glanced over it and I thought Pharun was the client. I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. I'm like, he's already here, but he's not my client.
The whole interaction was intended to happen with Hillman. I didn't realize that Hillman was no longer involved until like 10 minutes before before we started recording, and I was like, oh crap.
Yes, we had all our instructions, what to do with Hillman, and then also we're told there is no Hillman. We're like, Anvil?
Which by the way,
I foresaw Hillman being like, well, okay, I'll go get this item.
that would have been Hillman too.
I was like, oh god, this is gonna go so bad.
Well, it worked out because then you made him say I owed the debt because of Hillman. It's like, and in Pharun's typical, it's like, I'm not responsible for that little imp. But I love the fact that you even mentioned Hillman in. But the only thing that really confused me was when I started talking about the mirrored helmet being the thing that was destroyed by me, which did happen in season 1. It was attached to a freaking Titan that we killed invading the Fey Woods. And
that's not our fault.
I'm sitting there trying to connect
indiscriminately, okay?
I'm trying to connect the dots of how the hell did their helmet wind up on that thing? Now I know they're merchants. They probably sold it to them.
As a receipt for the warranty, I'm not gonna. I can't. I can't do anything about it, man. Just give me what I need. Call it even.
But it really
nick you in the process.
I think it's funny how we were inadvertently, and I gotta get you guys' opinion on this. How we were inadvertently like tripping each other up. Keith brought up a good point, like how good Dusty and Salem's performance made him forget that his character had an accent, his own voice. Keith actually tripped me up when I was arguing with Pharun about getting even with the queen, and I said, you know what, I don't want to make another enemy. And he turned around, what about getting revenge on the dragon that killed your friend? And all you have is Keith in the back, as I'm trying to give the dramatic turn, like silence for the dramatic turn, like Pharun's soap opera type deal, like he's turning around to stare at Pharun. And Keith in the background breaks the tension and almost breaks my character with, "Ooh, he's got you there." But I mean,
not gonna lie, that resulted from me temporarily forgetting that I wasn't actually playing Billy anymore. So like I said it, but in the back of my head, I'm like, oh shit, I'm not supposed to know that shit.
well, I mean, we were all screwing with each other. Like I said, I know Chris was kind of trolling it with that Bleen thing, and I mean, even Pharun got in on it. I know Anvil wasn't expecting Pharun to say, "I want to test this bag of infinite holding" by trying to put it over freaking Perun's head.
You said it, and I was scrambling frantically to find a way to not.
There's an even better moment for that, but it doesn't happen until episode 2, so we can't talk about it.
Well, we can go
talking about Anvil being unprepared for things.
You know, he definitely should have read up on the characters better.
Well, honestly, let's get everybody's opinion. What do you think of this incarnate, especially the people that know the original crew, or at least the original series, the first season, and how it's progressed to this group now? And obviously use all 3 episodes as your jumping point. Just don't give away any spoilers. Like, what were some of the breakout characters that you thought really stood out for the first 3 episodes, or the ones that you think are the ones that are going to be the ones to watch out for?
Mugsey, as far as player characters go, Mugsey stood out pretty good. Pretty much the driving force of the narrative for at least the second 2 episodes.
So
I will drag you forward, kicking and screaming.
I do want to say, Mugsey named basically all of those characters. The only character that wasn't that because I had various names for various characters, and Mugsey came in and was just like, all these names are garbage now. And most of my names were puns, but I'm really happy that we got to keep Tony, because that was just.
Well, you told me it was okay if I start spitting names at random.
I did, and I regretted that decision as soon as you started naming everybody else.
No, it was good. It flowed. It had a very natural flow to it of, oh, hey, whatever, and whoever you are. And then the rest of us are just like, I have just met like 12 different people, and I got their names, and I don't remember a darn one of them.
Well, what was even worse wasn't the fact that he was naming them, but he's walking up to a Cyclops. "Hey, Carl, how's Clarice and the kids?" He's giving NPC characters that guard a door a backstory.
And I really enjoy that, so I'd have to agree. I'd say Mugsey's definitely the one to watch for.
As someone that was just joining the group, though, I really enjoyed the number of throwbacks to the original group that kind of just naturally flowed into the story. It wasn't like they were forced in.
No, that's definitely something I agree with, because when Anvil agreed to take over hosting duties at Chronicles of the Lost Realm as a DM, the only rules I told him is it's his world. Majority of it is a blank canvas. We've only stayed in one little section for the first season. I said, but the only thing that I ask is that the first season is canon. What has happened has happened. And he took it and ran with it. He gave a lot more callbacks to season 1 than I thought he was going to, or is expecting to. Like, I was thrown off that Hillman was mentioned right away. I was really thrown off that helmet that I forgot about was mentioned.
I was thinking, I was like, man, how am I gonna convince these idiots to, meander off on a quest? And I was like, I mean, I gotta see her, but like, just being like, I saw the future, you need to do this, is kind of bullshit, so...
Insert Salem and Dusty.
I still sort of did that, but... And I was like, you know what? There was that one really unique item that stuck in my head. Let's go with that. I remember they broke that.
Okay, so the whole, Asir sees a thing in the future and says, look, this is the shit that's going down. It's a boring concept, but if you make it really, really interesting leading up to that,
then it's okay.
then it's okay.
Yeah, because
we enjoy any chance to improv, so it works.
yeah,
I honestly am disappointed in myself because in the lead up to the relaunch of Chronicles of the Lost Realm, start of season 2, I went back and listened to some of the episodes, and we just listened to the last episode of season 1 just before we played that night, and I'm sitting there kicking myself, going, "How the hell could I have forgotten the funniest thing that ever happened to Billy before he bit it? Was the fact that the last sound he ever heard was dial-up." Like that is 100% Chronicles of the Lost Realm canon. And Billy is uniquely the only character to understand what the fuck happened to him before he died.
well, look, I can't necessarily speak for some of the players of the first season who, are no longer a part of the group as far as like in the future if they ever decide they would want a cameo or return. But for the sake of argument, let's go off of the assumption that they don't. Okay. The ones that didn't return, Valhalla, the Blighted Crow, Hillman. What are the chances of the DM deciding to cameo them as NPC?
I mean, I'm all for it. Especially if we can get, the original actors for them. I'd absolutely. I'm pretty good with improvising, and my stories are very loosely plotted. So it's easy for me to just slide things in places.
Because I almost see the Blighted the Blighted Crow becoming fixated again with Zephyr's character, because obviously that spell backfire that happens to him has got to be the plague.
Right.
For those who don't know, the Blighted Crow was a plague doctor.
Good medicine?
No, that happened for.
So, guys, I just want you to know, I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't know this show existed until 10:30 Thursday night.
Jeez.
And that's Thursday, 10:30 Mountain Standard Time, so a little bit before 1 Eastern Time. And then Anvil asked if I wanted to join in, and thus Mugsey happened.
Right.
I have no idea what I was getting into.
So he said, I asked him if he wanted to join in, and I expected him to have to, come in on the next set. And he was like, "Oh, I got this character we can drop in," and I was like, "Damn, I guess you're playing tomorrow."
I was already planning on taking the day off work so I could start on time. It worked.
And it fit in so perfectly with what I had planned, because I'd already sort of planned that to be sort of mobbed up. And when he was like, "Hey, I have this mob enforcer character," I was like, "Oh my god, it's destiny."
Also, just a little bit of backstory on where Mugsey came from. Do you guys remember old Bugs Bunny cartoons?
Yes, that was the first thing that went through my head. Okay, Rocky.
My pal Rocky? Yeah. I combined the two of them and made a D&D character out of it.
That was exactly what went through my head when the came out as Mugsey. I'm like, okay, Rocky. I'm like, no, I'll leave that alone. What did I call you in the episode? What did I call you? A Jewish soprano?
Yeah.
Because you were given like this Italian mobster, but had a little bit of Yiddish in it.
That's because I have a lot of Long Island Jews in my family.
There you go. But all right, well, since you're the new guy in, and like you said, you didn't know we existed, that brings a couple questions to mind. So I'm going to target you for a minute here.
Okay.
One, the question will be, who do you think was the breakout, or the one that's going to be the one to watch out for from the episodes that you know? And then two, how much now being a part of it makes you want to go back and see the lore of the first season, or listen to, I should say?
I think Yue, Josh's character, or I don't actually remember his character's name.
Aowen.
I think it's Aiden.
I think yes. I think we should keep an eye out on him. I think he's gonna get up to some fucking hijinks. Are we allowed to swear?
Literally.
Yeah, you can definitely swear on this.
Okay, cool. And this does make me want to listen to this a lot more and pick up some of the lore and figure out what kind of a world I'm dealing with.
One that's unfolding before your eyes. Because, like I said, in season 1, I mean, we traveled from, like, a bar to, like, 2 or 3 villages and 1 ruin. So, if you were to paint that on a continent, we took over, like, 1 square. There's a whole canvas to go of a homebrewed world. So, like I said, that's what I said to Anvil when he took it over. I said, you know, happen is canon, but you have a whole world that's yours.
And I ran with that. I liked that. But I feel like it's sort of my responsibility to give respect to the guy that initiated this world and sort of started it. So I feel like, and there's going to be a lot more throwbacks to season 1. I hate admitting it, but I still haven't finished listening to season 1. But
I've seen the first episode and the last episode, or listened to.
Look,
I've seen the first 12 episodes.
Oh,
and
did
the
you?
last episode.
Wait, 12 episodes. You got to where we had the day off at the Druid Festival then?
Yes.
What now?
It was priceless.
That's right, we did go to a druid village.
It was a celebration in the middle of the woods, and literally right after we had the battle with the giant with the helmet, because we came out of the Fey Woods and wound up at that festival.
Yes.
Oh my God! And that unfortunately that started Pharun's story arc to what it is now.
Right.
You're welcome.
No, that was when Pharun truly
Pharun.
learned alcohol.
Chris,
Yeah.
it didn't get mentioned at all during any of the 3 episodes that we recorded of season 2 so far. Do you still have the Displacer Beast?
Yes, I do. I'm imagining because months have gone by, Fluffy's no longer a cub, but I do still have the Displacer Beast.
So,
I imagine
for you.
I imagine he's like laying at the hearth of the fire, and sleeping, whatever, and people try to walk by him and keep tripping over him because he's a Displacer Beast, and everywhere they think they see him,
They
he's
all
like,
just assume it's stuffed.
and a Displacer Beast, he looks like he's laying here. He's actually 3 feet to the left.
Right.
So, the other question that needs to be answered, and I guess we'll get that in the season, like I did say about canon being canon. Remember, we also had eggs that were supposed to be part of the what was it? The Hillman's Magical Menagerie. They should have hatched by now.
Yeah. The problem with that is we never actually found out what was supposed to hatch from Billy's egg.
Right.
Well, I think I would have Billy's. Well, that's DM's discretion, but I imagine I would have Billy's egg because he would have left it at the tavern that I bought.
You've got all of his stuff. He was frozen to death. Obviously you kept his hurdy-gurdy. You have all of his things.
Right.
So, here's my question. Can we get a hold of the previous DM and ask him, hey, what was supposed to be in that egg?
I don't know. When he left Realm of the Mist Entertainment and Sounds Dicey Gaming to pursue his own interests, I've kind of unfortunately lost contact with him. Before we lost contact, he did give me permission to take this and run with it, which is why Zephyr and I especially were high-ended on we've got to get this back, because at one point before Sounds Dicey was even launched, Chronicles of the Lost Realm was the highest viewed show on Realm of the Mist. Like, people tuned in to see what we did next, and I felt we were losing that audience by not giving a season 2. So I was, Keith will tell you, I was frantic to find a DM, and when you turn around, I was like, I'll do it. I'm like, yes, now, let's do it.
I sort of mentioned it in passing while we were playing a game, and the next day you were like, hey, when are we going to do this? When can we do this? I was like, oh, I guess we're doing this now. Cool.
I was adamant about it. You were
It's
like,
nice to know that I'm not the only person that sort of just happened to get sucked into this.
well, okay, well let's go to you. Let's go to you then. Do you regret coming in? What was the performance that stood out to you?
Honestly, the reactions to my character's shenanigans in the later episodes, and unfortunately because spoilers, but this is actually probably the second most fun character I've ever played in any of my tabletop gaming.
Nice.
And my last one was that was the first character I'd ever played, so it was a character that I was very connected to. So, the fact that I literally built this character a week ago, and then the week leading up to our first 3 episodes, and it's still a character that resonates with me more than any of the other characters I've played recently, has been kind of a cool thing.
Nice. All right.
That's nice. I know we originally turned you down. Because we were asked to be players, we said no, and next thing you know, off to the side, I got, what about NPC? It's like, oh, that's different.
Well, I'll get to you two in a minute, but let me get because I know we're kind of distracting him a little bit here. Chris, same question, man. One, what do you think of your interactions now with the Snumble crew, and with your opinion of the last 3 episodes, who do you think is going to be the one to watch this season?
Yeah, man, it's been fun, and I like how everything is like really taking the DM off track. Back whenever I used to play all the time, that was always the challenge, to fuck up the DM's plan as much as possible.
It's always fun to frustrate
them. The
them.
whole crew is rocking with that. That's awesome. I think Mugsey here is going to be kind of fun to fuck with for Xavier. Xavier has a really weird sense of humor and will either start a lot of shit or just completely stay out of shit. So he could be an absentee ballot during a fight, or he could start the fight. One or the other, because he'll flip a coin before anything major starts happening. That's how he decides whether or not he's going to jump in.
And what happens if somebody steals all his coins?
Oh, there's always something I can flip heads or tails, even if it's a fucking midget, man. It's all right.
Now we know the significance of Mugsey to Xavier.
I've always got a backup coin.
As you discover early on in episode 2, he's not as easy to flip as expected.
Yo, what you're saying?
Honestly, we should have seen this coming, because to be fair, Anvil did tell us, and when we were discussing him being the DM for this and what to expect, he linked us to the story of Old Man Henderson and told us to use that as a guideline.
I don't know if anybody who's listening is familiar with the story of Old Man Henderson, but if you aren't, go look it up because it's a great fucking read. But long story short, a player decided to troll his DM by creating a character with a 30-page long backstory of Doom that pretty much let him get away with whatever the fuck he wanted.
Wow.
Chaos ensued.
I'm a big fan of abnormal characters and game-breaking characters. So,
You know what? He
The fact that
probably.
I'm a paladin.
Good.
The fact that I'm a paladin who really has no interest or takes no effort into helping to heal people. As a matter of fact, I go out of my way to like make it worse. So, yeah, it'll be pretty cool.
Well, see that's something I wanted to dive in on. That's going to be my next question. But first, let me get the NPCs because same question, and I'm going to add an augment to the question to you two. Is number one obviously, like I said, the same questions like your experience with the Stumble Crew, with the Chronicles of the Lost Realm. Number two, who do you think the breakout star is? And then number three, the augment here. You regret not taking player characters?
Dusty, why don't you start?
Why do I have to start?
Why don't you start?
I actually really
Well, fucking get on it then!
I like drama stuff. That's what I do. No, I actually enjoyed Rutter's character. I wish I could have interacted with my color changing hair NPC more with his color changing stuff.
Oh, we would have had a blast. That would have been awesome.
But there's still time.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that means we're coming back. But yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it would have been a disco by the campfire or something.
Chris, can you please repeat the questions for Dusty?
Question one was your experience now with the Stumble Crew. Explain how you feel about your time spent so far. Two, who do you think the breakout?
Just do question at a time.
Okay, question one.
Ready for sure, did.
Your experience. Express your experience with the Stumble Crew.
I really enjoyed it. I did not know what to expect when I went into it, just because we had not discussed how our characters were going to interact. We talked basically to Anvil alone. So to find that our characters actually worked together like we had planned it was actually kind of fun, and your reactions to them was even better.
Like I said, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to act.
What do you think?
My opinion of the Stumble Crew. I love the ability to have diversity that is shown. That is, you can. It happens in the background. It happens right up in your face whenever. But it doesn't. Like immersion's just there. It was always just there. I walked in as this NPC that never got named, but I during the moment was that person, and you were the name that I'm gonna keep butchering. and Phoenix was Io, and Rutter was wearing Bleen. It was great. It was such a wonderful experience that honestly I've never had that sort of experience at the tabletop.
I will admit I died when it was very early on with the introduction. Everyone's introducing the characters. They went, but Phoenix had introduced a character. You went, because we got it. The rest of the lot of you didn't.
I'm not the one that meowed. That's the best part.
No.
I just said I was already there.
No, Salem did. That's what I meant by you. I'm sorry.
I meowed.
He meowed because him and I were like, oh, she's already there. Because we got it. So Salem mewed and I slapped her.
Anyway, question two.
Question two was who in your opinions after the episodes, especially being an NPC watching your group, who do you think is the member of the Stumble Crew to watch out for this season? Like who's the one that's going to break out amongst the group?
I already did. I I said my answer. We talked about Rutter.
Oh yeah. My answer is Io. I have a bad feeling that I have a bad feeling there's a lot of shenanigans that are planned, and I don't know. I have a feeling that eventually, however my NPC comes into play is, I don't know. Like I'm picturing that the NPC is going to be doing a lot of interaction with, like, say, Pharun. Come on, you gotta tell me.
Pharun.
Pharun. You had it right. You had
Pharun.
it right. I didn't correct you.
Okay. Going to have a lot of interaction, just butting heads with Pharun.
Oh yes.
But, like, the moment that this NPC has any sort of interaction with Io, it's gonna be like, all right, who the fuck is the rest of these people?
At one point, I had the severe temptation to have my character pick up Cat Io and just have it on the left going, I don't know what you're looking for. But I was like, nope, that's her character. I can't do that.
Well, the funny part was I had originally planned that was my familiar that walked in and that I was already in the bar somewhere else. And then when Akkla decided that the cat was bad news and he was desperately trying to find the cat, I went, you know what? Screw it. Not my familiar. It's me. We're going to roll with this as me. We're just going to see what happens.
It's funny you point out the Akkla part.
It took forever for her to give any indication of where the cat was in relation in the... to actually say it, like, to where the listeners could hear it, because she's sitting here telling me in the living room, like, oh yeah, I'm sitting over by the fireplace, blah blah blah. I'm like, you gotta say it so I can interact with it.
You could have discovered me by the fire without it being an issue. I found the cat.
Well, again,
and it would have been fine.
Well, again, like when I think,
for you.
When I immerse myself into this world and I'm listening to the story unfold, even when I'm playing the part in it, I kind of think of it as like a movie I'm watching, for example. So I look at it from, like, the camera lens, if you will. And I literally saw, Eowyn at the bar getting hounded by Xavier about check out my suit, and he's, posing, doing all different things in the background. While we're focused on Pharun and the two NPCs, and in the background you just see Akkla, like, moving chairs and patrons trying to find this cat just in out of frame.
That is exactly how I planned it to come off. So
that sounds about right. Yeah.
But it's funny to get back on Salem real quick when he said, like, how his NPC character is, like, he interacts with Pharun, but everybody else is like, who the hell are you? You kind of demonstrated that, because when Eowyn came in, because he got caught into the conversation a little bit and was like, wait a minute, what's this about? And you turned around and was like, oh, it's this box and it's this and that. By the way, who the hell are you? I'm thinking in my head, like, trying not to break character, I'm thinking in my head, like, that's cold.
And then I think question 3 is, do we regret not making PCs?
Yeah.
I don't, just because the 3-hour increment on a Friday every other week, that's my time with my children.
Fair enough.
I don't let anything get in the way of that.
Nor should you.
So, yeah, it would be fun, but it's a 3-hour increment at a time, and that's a lot. If it was 1 hour every Friday, I'd be all over it, but it's just too big a chunk.
My answer fluctuates. When the recording was happening. The answer to that question was yes, I do regret. I immediately was like, oh man, this is gonna be such a fun time. Having a PC would be so great. But now during this recording, my answer is actually no, because I've heard about Mugsey, and I'm like, well, not topping that.
So, speaking of kids, how would your kids like to be NPCs?
Oh, they would love it. You know how they are.
Actually,
Hey, Chris, didn't we used to have a show for that?
Actually, I was just about to ask that. How old are the children?
I have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old.
A 12 and a 14-year-old? Would they want to interact with an 11 and 10-year-old?
This is going to sound snobby of my 14-year-old, but no, he would not. He's gotten above children.
Well, the reason I ask is we do have
not hers.
We do have a children's RPG show on Sounds Dicey that will be coming back relatively soon, probably when this coronavirus is over with, called Little Crits, and it's literally playing. Well, right now we were doing a Star Wars module. We're doing a Star Wars spinoff, but we don't use like high-end RPG stuff. We actually use Amazing Fantasies, which is really simple for kids, but it's all kids. They're the stars. So
Yeah, no, because if it wasn't Star Wars, then my daughter would probably do it, but my daughter's not into Star Wars at all.
well, like I said,
She's
we're
a
doing
fantasy creature.
we're doing that now, but that doesn't mean it's going to be Little Crits in the future. You know, we
But
started
again,
off as
again,
D&D.
I like how when you first brought me into Realm of the Mystics, I was so bad at promotion, and now it's just second nature.
It is. It really is. And it's easy when you love what you're doing. And I won't lie, man. I sat here with a cheese-eating grin as soon as we started the first episode. Like, as soon as the recording started and after we had the little mishap of Anvil not realizing his mic was muted,
that was fucking great. Oh man, I love that I was able to give a Something Witty Abridged shout out because that was a joke straight out of their show.
but once we got that straight,
That was priceless too, because like the whole conversation, I kept saying things and nobody was saying stuff, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was just sort of like everybody was having their own conversations, and it just kind of was commentary on the back burner, and then you guys were like, Anvil, Anvil, and I was like, oh, shit!
Everybody just muted himself.
But the ironic thing is after that little mishap, when Anvil finally said, "Welcome to Chronicles of the Lost Realm," man, I got this cheese-eating grin on my face. I said, "Oh my God, we're back!" You know? I honestly, we have so many different shows on Realm of the Mist and subsequently Sounds Dicey, and I'm proud of each and every one of them, whether I'm involved with it or not. But there is a special place in my heart for Chronicles of the Lost Realm and what it really represents. Not just a love of D&D, but like a true community, because this is the one show more than After Hours, for example, that really allows us to interact with each other in a way that's not podcasting and more like the family or friends gathering together. You know, and I think that comes off in the show with the way the characters interact with each other. And man, I fucking missed this. You know? Plain and simple. Thank you guys very, very much for making season 2 possible. This is not just the fans who stuck by Chronicles of the Lost Realm. This is not just my love of it making it exist. This is these guys here. They all wanted to be a part of this. This meant something to them, and it's alive now because of them. And that's about the end of the seriousness that I'll give to this, but thank you so much.
Go team!
We're just the crazy aunt and uncle at the table.
Oh, we've got Druncle. We've got Druncle
Anvil.
Oh my God! Is that Salem?
I'm just glad that we were asked to do this as NPCs anyway. I thank you for that.
Wait. Does that mean we now know the identity of Salem's character? He's Uncle Tony?
No.
Uncle Touchy 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh dear.
I will.
Oh my God! I'm just imagining the next time we show up on set. Hey guys, good to see you again. And she's just all like, "Oh, it's so nice that you're actually out of prison."
Shows
The
up.
nice thing is we don't rehearse them. There's no way of knowing what we're going to say to each other, so you never know.
Shows up at the inn, and all the children all of a sudden like start pulling on like the waitress's skirts and pointing. It's like, yeah, it's him.
I honestly think that this is going to be a great season just because the sheer amount of chaos mechanics we have in this party alone.
I'm super excited for it. I am really, really excited for all the chaos.
I was not prepared for Xavier's coin flip decisions thing. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, wait a minute. I've got a random chance for every spell I cast. Like, somebody's over here making all major decisions by coin flip.
Yeah, he's Harvey Two-Face.
So, I'm just waiting for like Zephyr's character to just like TKO, and Xavier to be saved simply because he flipped a coin and decided to stay out of that battle.
Could have been saved, but the coin never lies. Well, that leads to the final.
Something like that will happen.
We may have accidentally saved ourselves from the chance of a catastrophic failure from my character, because in leveling our characters to level 8 off the bat for everybody starting out new, I have some semblance of control of what the random effect is.
Well, you're welcome for that. I didn't think it was fair if Melwood and I, being the returning characters, were level 8 and everybody else had to start at basic. Again, with everything being a canon, I felt like before they became Stumble Crew characters, they've had their own adventures, had their own experiences. They're not coming in as recruits. They're veterans in their own way. You know, and that was something.
That being said,
that was something Anvil and I talked heavily about. Like, I want them up to snuff with the returning characters.
That being said, I can always choose to go with the catastrophic failure if I ever land on one.
Just depends on the rule of cool. Depends on the rule of cool. As long as it happens to you and not my bar.
We'll see how it fits with the narrative.
He doesn't catastrophic failure.
I do.
We have a cure for that. You just have to buy this and that and look at the catalog of the newest items we have.
Why do I see you guys as like the annoying fucking credit card people that call up at like 8 o'clock in the morning? We've extended your line of credit.
Oh, mate, notice your hair just fell out. Well, introducing Pocket Yak. Pocket Yak, pull it right out of your pocket, put it on your head. It's not going to do anything to your hair, but it looks like you had hair, right?
Our information shows that your car warranty is about to expire.
Yep.
That would be us.
As one of Akkla's spells are going bad, they just appear as like, do you need health insurance?
You're using up your spell slots, you want something for that.
Don't worry, this doesn't hurt you much. Oh wait, sorry.
All right, so the final.
I really enjoyed the part where as we were leaving the bar, you guys were complaining about how nobody bought anything, and you still had so much stuff in your bag.
She does, though.
I don't know if it worked. But I was when the characters were in the dunk tank, I had my hands covering my face. Trying to symbolize that they were talking through the dunk tank.
Yes.
I don't know if that worked.
I know, I had this perception that as we were all leaving, it's kind of like those guys in the kiosk at the mall where it's like you don't make eye contact because you know they're going to grab you and you'll never get away.
Just guys, you go back to the bar, they set up a piercing pagoda.
Look, you Salem Dusty, you know what's got to happen now that she said that. Next time the dunk tank appears and you guys are there and they try to walk by, just grab their arm and start squirting lotion on him.
You'll never believe this perfume.
You said the trolls just died for it, really.
It sets you on fire. Here's the antidote.
Free sample? Free sample?
It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets to dunk again.
Yeah. So, you know, I think the only disappointing part to episode 1, and I tried to get it out of Anvil, but I imagine he was so mesmerized by everything that was going on, he missed the cue, is when I forced Pharun to go talk to Dad. And everybody made a joke about Daddy's boy, which I laughed at, but I was really hoping that there would be a conversation, or at least an on-air interaction between Nim and Pharun. I was kind of disappointed we didn't get that.
Man, I'm sorry I missed that cue. I misunderstood that.
Well, it was also to try to get away from the two salespeople, but I mean, I was wondering if we were gonna have like a Danny Tanner Full House moment where Nim actually imparts words of encouragement and wisdom to Pharun about needing to take on this menial task.
Everywhere you look. Everywhere there's those guys.
Anvil, don't feel bad about missing that cue. It's okay. You were too busy multi-track drifting.
Right? So I was planning on giving him a moment with his son, especially since you didn't give him a voice in the first episode.
Technically, I did.
And this next coming up episode, where he mentions to you that he's happy to see you out and about again.
Actually, I did give him a voice. If you want something to go off of, we did have.
You did.
It was never on the episodes, but we did create backstory videos for a lot of the characters for Chronicles of the Lost Realm, and I actually gave Nick a gruff and kind of whispery voice because of everything he's been through, like just somebody who's worn down. You know what I mean? So very soft-spoken, but gruff, like he smoked too much, and it's really just because of the years and years of torment that he suffered at the hands of the Spider Queen, you know, type deal. So there is technically a voice, however, whether or not that's canon, that's discretion.
All right, I'll try to run with that. I can run with that.
It's not like it's a huge deal if we have weird voices for characters for a little while. We completely swapped out my voice actor for half of season 1, and nobody even noticed.
Come to me on the day of my son's wedding.
Oh yes, give him.
He's the Godfather now.
Yes, give him that voice.
Oh my god.
Every time
NPCs have different accents every time they show up.
Why not?
But the big
anytime Nim speaks, Mugsey just instinctively takes off his hat.
on the day of your daughter's wedding.
You guys know.
Mugsey's all like, on the day of your daughter's wedding. Oh wait, sorry.
Boss, do you want I should handle this for you?
Nim's trying to give Pharun an inspirational speech. Mugsey's just over in the corner playing a trumpet very loudly.
Look. I'll be honest though. The one thing I was expecting because that Anvil and I agreed that Pharun woke up and decided for his retirement years he would man the bar of the tavern. I fully expected like Woody Harrelson from Cheers. I really did. I half expected like interaction with Nim and Anvil just give me this, "What's up, Mr. Peterson?" And I don't know what I would have to do with that. But No, the final question I gotta throw out to everybody here, because we are way over on time, but I've just been enjoying this conversation. For those that are listening, and of course who are watching this video subsequently on YouTube or listening to it on one of the audio channels, there will be a part 2 with some of the other members who unfortunately couldn't join us tonight. So be on the lookout for that. There's going to be another Chronicles by the Campfire where we have more conversations, with some of the other Stumble Crew members. But let's look forward a little bit. Like, besides episode 2 and 3, which are in the can, as it were, and ready for release, episode 2 releases tomorrow morning for Patreon supporters. So they get early access a week before the episode releases to everybody else. So, guys, go over to the Realm of the Mist Patreon. $1. You can check out the episode before everybody else. Plus other bonuses and
the money
benefits.
you give us, the more content we can make.
That's it. But the big thing is beyond episode 3 here, moving forward, I definitely want to get everybody's impression of what do you think is in store for this group in this season? Just speculation.
Chaos.
A glorious
Smile to answer that?
Well, you should know, Anvil. If you don't, we got a problem.
Pure fucking chaos.
Okay.
I think we'll take
As
a
a
crochet.
random note,
What's that?
if we do decide to give our first Patreon subscriber an NPC slot, really should be just a bear with swords.
That's what I was planning on. I was planning a bear with a strange metal helmet with a red eye on it, and a sword, and a very odd crossbow.
And very, very tight armor where his fur is sticking out of all the cracks and crevices, but nothing on either arm. The arms are bare. Because he's got the right to bear arms.
And no.
I don't know why, but for future.
all of the bear's armor is etched with the letters 2A.
Is that some sort of god?
Nobody gets it.
I get it.
No, I'm saying, like, all of our characters, nobody gets it.
Oh,
Because the only character that would is dead.
See, I think if nothing else, that's the one thing I'm going to miss most about your old character, Billy Knowles. We have a habit of making a lot of pop culture references. Inadvertently, it just fits the moment or whatever, and Billy was a meta character. He got them.
He got them and made them.
So,
Some of my most fun moments of Billy were when somebody else would make a meta joke and Billy was just looking at confusion going, how the fuck do you know about that?
So anyway, I believe Dylan was about to say something before Anvil did, and we kept jumping over him.
Here, go
Oh,
ahead.
it was just that before I said a word in this game, I was about half in the bag. I had about 6 shots of bourbon in me before I even started.
Nice.
Because I was told I was going to be talking a lot sooner than I was, and apparently that's what I did.
I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil.
Zephyr and I might have been the only people that weren't consuming alcohol during our recording of the first.
No, I was sober. I'm
Were
your
you?
sober drunk uncle.
Okay.
I'm normally more sober than that.
Rules.
The all-consuming flame of Pepsi.
No, it was Mountain Dew this time.
Oh, okay.
No Pepsi Man?
Actually, I've been 2 weeks sober
I'm sorry.
in total.
In my life.
But I mean, like Mugsey was a shock character, and I don't want to spoil anything or whatever, but when you first came in, it took me most of the episode to realize that you were a player character. I thought you were another NPC.
Perfect.
You know, when a campaign is
That's
done
why I was
right,
like,
you really can't tell the difference.
What was that, Chris?
that's why I was like, fuck it, I'm going to kill him with a morning star. 'Cause I thought that's why I was like, fuck it, I'm going to kill him with a morning star, because I thought he was just another NPC. I was going to make it difficult.
That's exactly. Again, we're dangerous spoiler territory, but I mean, I guess we could talk about this since people know that Mugsey exists. That was why I gripped him up. I'm like, NPC, who cares? Hanging from a tree. You know?
Did you not notice I rolled something?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, no, I rolled a strength check to drag you back down.
Right, right. You did do that, and
The contested grapple.
and since we're talking about things that get carried back from season 1, and Keith will attest to this, Pharun is terrible with strength checks.
Yeah.
I think I failed every one in season 1.
No, you succeeded. You succeeded in at least one, but like pretty much every time a strength check came up, you like had anxiety.
I did. I really did.
It's like you were like, I'm failing.
From from episode 1, when it was just me and Hillman, we're off on that little prelude quest, and I'm supposed to open this gate, and I roll a 5. And Hillman rolls a 19. He's the one that lifts it.
You get outstrengthed by a
halfling.
I just want to say that means that you've been outstrengthed by a halfling twice now.
Yeah.
All right.
I will admit, though, one of my favorite halfling moments was Hillman. Actually, there's 2 of them. One involves the helmet when
the fireball where you just killed everything.
Oh, wasn't that wonderful? Like this, we
so perfect.
we hung this episode when they invaded the Feywood, and it's just a bunch of Queen's Hands running in and the Titan running in, and like
It was supposed to be a cliffhanger. It was supposed to be a dramatic fight, and Hillman ended it in one fucking move.
That was it. Yeah, like we left that for like, what was that? That was a 2-week break. We that was like a mid-season finale. And when we came back, it was literally the first roll. He crit everybody with a fireball. It was over, and poor Ray, our DM, he was just like, "Fuck you guys." You know, but my favorite one was right after with the druids and
agility check.
The agility check, and he's just doing cartwheels and singing, "I'm a major general." The javelin throw, where he like beats both Billy and I in the javelin throw, and he's throwing a toothpick because he can't carry a full javelin. Oh man, I really.
I don't know about you, but
Good.
I don't know about you, but my favorite Hillman moment was me dropping the book on him.
Yeah.
That one was pretty good.
Curious Platypus is on. How you doing? And they said, to be honest, I missed
that. Was about Mugsey being an NPC.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. So I'm not the only one who was like, it's an NPC. Who cares? Okay, I feel bad now, though.
Which one's the murder hobo?
I wasn't gonna kill him. I was gonna hang him from a tree branch. I was thinking like my mindset was like an old 80s like high school show where the bully hangs the kid by the flag. It's pretty much what Pharun was gonna do to this guy.
Anvil didn't do a great job of describing him. He's Mugsey is 3 feet tall and 3 feet wide, wearing 2/3 of a 3-piece suit and a bowler hat. with a face like a bulldog that took up bar fighting as a hobby.
Okay, now you got to give a little bit more detail than that, because when you say 2/3 of a piece suit being 3 feet wide and three.
Wearing...
Well, understand. Let me finish, because the first thing that popped in my head was Porky Pig with no pants. I'm not gonna lie.
He just doesn't have the jacket on. He's not Porky Pig in it. Everything but the jacket.
Oh! Speaking of no pants, the NPC that I played definitely did not have
pants. You did mention it. I don't think anyone paid attention. Remember, I pulled the pants out and handed
She
them to
is
you
Uncle Touchy.
I handed you pants. I did. I pulled them out of the pouch and said, "Here's your pants." Remember, I did hand them to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Missed opportunity to not have the queen's hand running in for the flasher in the bar. Where Melwood could have just turned around and been like, "Oh shit, not again."
Every time he sits, he's got his knees like 7 feet apart.
But
sitting there doing the basic instinct.
But I mean, when Pharun met Mugsey, it's like, here's this little smart mouth kid, halfling calling all of us a bunch of idiots when I'm literally checking what was in front of us, and I'm being vague because I don't want to ruin anything. And he's calling us an idiot because he thinks we're going to jump right into the problem as I'm discovering the problem, and I'm like, okay. Time to teach this little smart mouth a lesson. Boy, was I wrong.
I was told you guys were going to fall for it. So
I sort of expected you guys to sort of like get off and proceed cautiously with your swords out and just sort of walk right into the pit trap, expecting an enemies to jump out. And it got ruined when frickin' EO could talk to animals. I'm like, crap!
Well, that in effect, my
Officially spoiler territory, guys!
Yes,
we are definitely spoiled. Yep.
Well, that in effect, my character's a ranger. That in effect, my character's a ranger whose favorite terrain is forest. So, like, I have bonuses to all that stuff. But I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, okay, the crew's working well together. I was caught it. I'm catching it. I'm figuring it out what it is. And all of a sudden, here comes this little, oh, you're a bunch of idiots. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not dealing with this. Like, that's Pharun's whole character is I'm not dealing with this.
we should really be happy that Mugsey showed up when he did, because Akkla was about to cast Detect Magic.
Oh, yeah, true. And there's how we would have fallen into it.
Everybody blows up.
Like, all of a sudden it becomes the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi.
Akkla cast Detect Magic, the pit gets wider.
At least we would have then known exactly what we were looking at. I mean,
it gets bigger.
But I promise you guys,
So
listening.
before I get off here, guys,
Good.
I do want to say one thing, and I'm disappointed it didn't come up, but the whole reason behind why Pharun isn't allowed back at that brothel is because he was trying to convince all the prostitutes to leave and come work for him.
well, we got that.
Because he's a
Florida.
racist.
We pretty much got that. We just didn't think it bared repeating. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
Well, with him constantly changing my inn and tavern, when am I going to see a stripper pole? Because I have a feeling that's coming.
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry. And I'm not saying there's going to be slot machines, but
I mean,
there's going to be slot machines.
We're definitely crossing into different episodes here, guys.
All of a sudden the sign says not loan anymore, Drow. But
anyway, I gotta get off here, guys.
All right, cool. Enjoy
your evening.
You as well. I'm gonna be bringing this one to a close myself, guys. want to give you guys like a final say on Chronicles of the Lost Realm and what you think so far. And before you do, I want to just point out to everybody again, make sure you're checking in for Season 2. It releases this coming Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Anchor, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora. Just look up Realm of the Mist Entertainment or Sounds Dicey Gaming. Trust me, only one. So if you put it in the search bar, we will appear. Guys, I can't even express in words how excited I am to be bringing this back to you guys. I'm so thankful for the crew. I'm so thankful for Anvil and his DMing. I'm so thankful for you guys enjoying this as much, hopefully as much as I do. There, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and say pieces. Don't everybody jump at once.
I hope everybody looks forward to the future of Chronicles of the Lost Realm. It's certainly looking to be a fun time. Make sure you donate to our Patreon. Can't express how important that is. Like the more money we make doing this, the more content we can generate, and we can start giving merch and just better content all around.
A hurdy-gurdy necklace that when you press the button, it makes the AOL sound.
See, now I'm just imagining a graphic tee that's a hurdy-gurdy, and it's got like a little bubble coming up of like a sound coming off of it, and it's just the AOL logo.
That's it. That's it. I know places. I know places I can get it too. I know I can get a hold of it. Every fan that comments on the episodes that they hashtag Billy, I will send you a free AOL disc. Remember the freebies? I'm sorry.
I'm sure that counts as regifting, but okay.
All right, that was Keith.
Dylan?
Rob? Yeah, I got nothing. This is Dylan. Support our Patreon. Thank you for listening. I'm really excited to be playing with you guys because this seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope everybody else is excited as I am.
Oh, absolutely.
Phoenix?
This is Phoenix. This is the one place you can find me online, so I'm looking forward to continuing to do this. And yes, please listen, donate, tell all your friends.
Absolutely.
Oh man, Rutter. Oh, did we kill Rutter?
Hope everybody enjoys the show. It's been fun.
And I suppose the Sockdraw crew will remind everyone that for the future, I think, wink wink, you should bring aftershave. It's going to be a thing, I think. Yep.
Okay.
It's going to be a thing.
Shh. Spoilers.
But be sure to support. Be sure to support Realm of the Mist. It sounds nice gaming.
And you might get to see us back.
Or not.
You might not. I don't know.
Let's figure this out. It's all a whirlwind of
That's the joy of NPCs.
greatness
We don't know.
and chaos.
We'll make Dusty and Salem's NPCs return a stretch goal.
If we reach this many patrons,
We get to have 4.
Oh, I just had a.
we might bring them back. We don't really want them, but we'll figure it out.
Oh my God! I just had a terrible thought. What if they're a plant by Baba Yaga?
Well, I mean, the guy we're currently working for is a Ruski, so I mean.
Yeah. Oh Lord, guys.
We're good.
All right.
Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed this in any capacity, hit that thumbs up button. Like, share, comment, subscribe, support, follow. Go check out all the other great Let's Plays and tabletop content of Sounds Dicey Gaming, and of course our sister channel, Mist Entertainment, for all your podcasting needs. And of course, if you prefer your podcast or the show in audio-only format, check out Realm Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Breaker, Radio Republic. There's so many to mention, just wherever quality podcasts can be heard. And we will catch you for episode 2 of Chronicles of the Lost Realm next week. Have a good night, guys.